Grief doesn't come with instructions. There is no map, no timeline, no easy way forward, but every day, people find the strength to keep going, to rebuild their lives, and to carry the memories of the ones they love. This is Strength After Sorrow.
Welcome back to Strength After Sorrow. I'm Jeff Sandman, and today what I want to talk about is finding purpose in pain. First, I want to thank everybody that has found this podcast and has listened to it. I really appreciate it. I read some reviews, or not some reviews, but some comments on YouTube, and I went in and told my wife and started reading one of them, and I started to almost cry. And it was a story similar to ours. It happened a different way, but they lost a child. And, you know, this is exactly why I wanted to start this podcast, was so that the story could get out and other people could glean from that and find out that they are not alone in this, and that they're not the only ones that are hurting, and the feelings that they're going through are not unnatural. They're something that we all go through when this type of thing happens. So it really meant a lot to me. It let me know that I am doing the right thing, that this is going to be impactful, and that is what I wanted. I wanted it to be impactful for others, to be able to continue on their journey, continue to find strength wherever it is that they could find it. And that's exactly why I called this Strength After Sorrow. This is a continual journey of finding strength every step of the way. So back to what we're talking about today, finding purpose in the pain. You know, that's one of those weird things that when you think about it, purpose, whether it was something like what we went through, you know, we lost our son, and where do you find purpose in that? What is the purpose of that? And I'm not talking about, because we can start going down the rabbit hole of why. And we start asking questions of why this, or how come, and it gets you down a road that just is not healthy to go down, because then you're just looking for reasons. You're looking for an answer that you're probably never going to find. There's no answer to me. I'm not going to find an answer of why wasn't God able to come in and save our son, or, you know, for that person that they prayed for their mom, they prayed for their sister, whatever it was, and why did God not heal them? But I know somebody over here that they were going through some things, and God healed them, and we can't go down that road of why. It's not a why, it's a what are you going to do with what you went through? And that is where you start trying to find purpose. What is the purpose? I believe that everything we can learn from, you know, life is a lesson. Life is an experience that we get to go through. And every step of the way, there are things that are going to come at us, and we get to choose how we're going to take that opportunity. And are we going to use it as something that's going to tear us down, or are we going to use it as something that's going to build us back up? And that's why I wanted to talk about finding purpose in the pain. What is the purpose? And one of the things that's always stuck in the back of my mind was that what the enemy meant for evil or for harm, that God will turn it around and make something good out of it. And I'm paraphrasing that. You can go back in, it's in the Old Testament, and essentially the way I look at it is things are going to try to attack us. And the reason they're attacking us is because they want us to fail. God's not necessarily putting these things on us, but he's giving us a way out, and he's going to take that opportunity and he's going to turn it into something good. And here I am, I'm like, okay, we lost our son. What do you mean you're going to turn that into something good? Well, I just got done sharing. He took that opportunity because I didn't let this knock me down. I didn't let this keep me down. Like, the enemy would have loved nothing more than to keep me down, to just beat me down to where I am not any good for my family, any good for my employer, any good for the kingdom of God. He would have loved nothing more than to just have me revert back to where I was before, to where I wasn't being a light, to where I wasn't being the best person that I could be, to where I wasn't being an example to those that are around me, trying to be an influence on others, being a mentor to those that are around me. And instead, I took that verse and I remembered, no, what was meant for harm, what was meant for evil, God's going to turn around and he's going to do something good with this. And for me, it was being able to share my story, being able to be there for other people that are going through pain like this. And I will 100% take that on. I enjoy seeing somebody else be able to, and I'm not going to say, break the barrier or whatever it is. It's similar to when I was coaching CrossFit. There was nothing more rewarding than when you would give somebody a cue on a movement or help them through a little struggle that they were going through. And then when I was cueing them, and then I would see them break through and I would see them be able to do something that they couldn't do before. And it was so rewarding that I was able to be a part of that. And just seeing the light on their face, just knowing. And even in this space, with the grief and again, this podcast isn't just about grief. This podcast is about finding purpose, finding strength, no matter what it is that we go through, whether it's a divorce, whether it's a bankruptcy, whether it is you started a business and you completely lost it, it was wiped out, or whatever it is. Like I shared in the very first episode, we all go through things. And this is for everybody that's gone through something. And if we have a story about something that we've gone through, then we can help somebody else move forward and find purpose. And that is what this is all about. So a couple of things that like I said, I'm going to have some notes so that way I can try to stay on track. I can tend to get a little bit off if I don't have something to keep me on focus. So the first point that I wanted to kind of cover was pain feels meaningless at first. So when you're in it, pain doesn't come with a label. It doesn't tell you why. It just hurts. And there is a pain that is there that you can't explain. You can't take ibuprofen, or you can't drink some 7-Up or whatever it is to make it go away. It's just there. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They assume that if this hurts, it must be pointless. If this happened, something must be wrong with me. And nothing's wrong with you. It's maybe you went through a divorce. Well, maybe you guys just made some wrong choices. Maybe there was some things that happened, and you've got to find purpose in that. You've got to find, okay, well, what can I do now? I can look back, whether it's a divorce, whether it is, a business loss, whether it's a child being lost, whatever it is, we can always do an inventory and look back at it and go, what is it that I can learn from this? How can I be better from what I just went through? And that is one of the key things, is you went through it. I shared in the last episode that I've been doing a lot of sandbag workouts, and I really have been enjoying them. I just got a new sandbag that I put 200 pounds in that one, and it was going from 150 pound to a 200 pound bag was a pretty good jump. And I didn't treat the 200 pound bag like I treated the 150 pound bag. I did a couple of reps instead of as many reps as I would have done with the 150 pound bag. I was smart about it. I wasn't trying to overwhelm myself. And it's the same thing in my journey here. I didn't try to go from, hey, I lost our son, to I am 100% healed all in a day or two. This has been a continual journey that I have taken day by day. And I was out running the other day, and God talks to me in kind of the parables. He will use what I'm doing to give me like little life lessons. And as I was running, I was out there on the trails and I was running, and I would get a little ways in. I felt really good. And then for just some reason, I felt like I wanted to stop. Well, instead of stopping, I turned my run into a walk, and I walked for a little bit. And I did this a few times. And there was a couple times, I wanted to stop, put my hands on my knees and kind of hunch down and take some deep breaths. But I didn't. I just kept on walking in those times. And the lesson that I was getting with that is, this is an awful lot like life. We are just running along and something comes at us, and we have to choose whether or not we're going to just completely stop and have no more momentum forward, or are we just going to slow down, and are we going to just gradually still make some forward motion? And that was a little lesson to me that was a good reminder that this is what I needed to do. I needed to have that forward motion. I needed to have that continual motion. And there was times, like I shared in the last one, that I just wanted to lay down and just curl up. I didn't want to do I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do anything. And when you're a business owner and you have your own business and you have no drive to do anything, that makes it really hard to have a successful business. So those were things that I had to do. It was, okay, maybe I can't do everything that I wanted today, but let's just do little steps. Let's do a little bit. Let's mention our son's name today. Let's not try to hold back those tears today. Let's do this, or let's do little teeny baby steps. And then the more that I did that, the more comfort I had in that, and the easier it became. And then it went from just saying our son's name to, yes, this is what happened. And like I shared, I will talk to random strangers and I will share our story about losing our son. And I still don't know why it is that I do that. I had this conversation with my mom. And of course, I've heard the term that we're entertaining angels sometimes. And I said to her, well, maybe that's what it is. You know, I am just, they're angels and I'm just revealing it to them. And she gave me a little different perspective. She's like, maybe God put you in their life and you were their angel at that time. And that is what they needed. They needed to be able to hear something. They needed some encouragement. They needed help finding some purpose at that time. So that helped me, again, finding purpose in this. What is the purpose? The purpose is to help others. The purpose is to help somebody that is down and their story hasn't been told yet, and to let them know that they're not alone. You see great recoveries in different things. You know, you talk to people that have been alcoholics and they share their story with somebody else that's been an alcoholic, and then all of a sudden there's something that just clicks in them, and the story that they have of overcoming and getting through just speaks volumes to that other person. And then the next thing you know, they're going, I can do this too. If he did this, or if she did this, I can do this. And that is why I continue to share my story, because if somebody comes up and I'm sharing my story, then I want them to have in the back of their mind that, oh, if he made it through, and I'm not through, I'm moving forward, but if he's able to do this, then I can be able to do this as well. This will give me some purpose in moving forward. So the next point is purpose is often revealed after and not during. So most of the time, you don't see purpose in the pain. You see it in what the pain produces in you. And again, like I am doing here, I can see, you know, with the sandbags, I'm going through some pain. There was some pain involved in lifting a 200-pound bag, but I am going to see that here. The more that I do that, the more that I put those reps in, the easier it is going to become for me to lift that 200-pound bag. And then I can graduate up to a heavier bag. Well, the more that I went through these reps of talking about our son, or telling myself that I can open up in front of my wife, or actually just taking what she said, that it is okay to do this, and take it to heart and then let it just happen, then the easier it became. And I'm still working on that, and I will probably continue to work on that for the rest of my life. I will never be perfect at that, but I would like to think that I am getting better, that it's easier for me to share my feelings with her. I mean, the other day when, like I said, when I was reading that comment to her from YouTube, and I started breaking down, and it was okay. I didn't completely break down, but I had to take a time out, and she was right there with me, and I was okay with that. And before, I probably would have walked away. I would have just said, here, you read it, because I don't want to read it. But I continued, and I got through it because I was putting in those reps. I was getting to where I'm able to get through that a little bit easier. And something I got down here, pain becomes a tool, not because it was good, but because something good came out of it. And just like I shared earlier, that verse that God will take what was meant for evil or for harm, and he's going to turn it into good. And I just continue to use that verse in the back of my mind, and I want to use that, keep that as kind of one of my life things, that no matter what happens, there's something good that you can get out of it. There's going to be a lesson that you have learned. There's going to be, whether it is something that I'm not supposed to do, that was really not something that was beneficial, whatever it is, or, you know what, if I would have done this instead, and of course you can't go back and change it, but if this comes up again, you can use that as a tool to make a better choice, to make a different outcome, because now you're ready for it. And you just become stronger. Not step three, but point three, pain forces identity decisions. So pain will push you to answer, who am I now? And it will make you say, what do I want to do with this? Or what can I do with this? Who was I before this happened? And am I becoming a better version of myself now because of this? Am I more empathetic because of what I went through? Am I more understanding because of what I went through? Am I stronger because of what I went through? Who am I now? And if you're not who you want to be now, what steps do you need to take to become who you want to be now? What do I need to do to be more empathetic to others? What do I need to do to be stronger right now? What do I need to do to be the one that helps somebody through something? You don't control what happens to you, but you can absolutely control what it makes of you. So, like I said, life is going to throw things at you, and you just have to take whatever is getting thrown at you and figure out how to make that into something good. And what is the old saying, taking lemons into lemonade? Well, life doesn't give us lemons. Life gives us some different things, and we've got to decide what kind of person we're going to become because of those things that are coming at us. Are you going to be better because of the things that come at you? Point 4, purpose often looks like helping someone else survive what you did. So I kind of shared a little bit about this, that a lot of purpose is found when your pain becomes someone else's survival guide. Like I shared in that last episode, when I read that book of them losing a child and the feelings that they had, the emotions that they had, that was becoming my survival guide. That was letting me know that the feelings that I had were legit. They weren't something that I wasn't supposed to be feeling. If somebody else is feeling it and they've put a book out and they were able to share it, then it must be normal. And then as I was going to some of the grief groups, I was listening to other people talk, and they were saying the same thing. They were talking about these feelings that they were having, these emotions that they were having. And again, it just became my survival guide that, okay, they're going through it. This is exactly what I've been feeling. So this is a normal part of this. if I didn't know with the sandbags or with working out or whatever it is that it wasn't working these muscles, and then I'm all of a sudden wondering, well, why is my muscles tight? Well, I need to know the survival guide. I need to know how these things work. Well, with the pain and grief, when they're sharing that, then I know those are normal. When you're going through, addiction with something, if you've never been addicted to anything, you can't tell somebody how to be unaddicted. You can't tell them how to deal with things. You have to find somebody that has been addicted to something, and then their story becomes a survival guide to that person that is addicted to something, because they've gone through it. They have experienced those things, and they know what is going on. I had no idea what our son was going through when he was addicted to the drugs. I had no clue because I was never in that. I didn't have that issue. So I didn't know how that worked. I've talked with people now that have told me about these things, so it kind of helped me to understand. But I still wouldn't be able to help necessarily somebody through that because I don't have that story. I've got a story of grief, of losing our child. I've got a story of our oldest daughter losing her husband in a motorcycle accident, and we thought our oldest grandson, which is 9 now, was going to not make it either. He was on the front of the motorcycle. And so I've got those stories. I've got the stories of my wife and I almost divorcing 3 times. And again, like I've mentioned before, here we are 32 years later, 32 years of marriage, and we've made it this far, and we continue to try to improve our relationship so that we can make this last even longer. Well, I can help people with that. I can help people with this because it's my story. It is my story that can be somebody else's survival guide. And an easy way to kind of put it is someone's roadmap. This is a good roadmap to kind of follow. Maybe you're going to take a little detour here, a little detour there, but you've got a roadmap of these are some things. And just like I shared before with grief, there is no step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, that these are the things. Okay, well, I went through this, so now I'm going to graduate to this, and now I'm going to graduate to this. That's not how it works. Maybe I went through feeling number 1, and then I went all the way up to number 4, and then I come back to 2, and then I come back to 1, and I skip 3, but those things are out there, so we know that they're there so that we can expect them when they come. So let's see here. I think that was about it. Let me look here real quick at my notes. We're going to wrap it up right there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. If this does mean, or if it means anything to you, then make sure you guys go and like, subscribe, comment. Again, you can go to, I think I've got it on Spotify, I've got it on Apple, I've got it on Amazon, I've got it on YouTube. So make sure you go check that out. I am on Instagram at Strength After Sorrow. You can find me there as well. I post a few different things, and that does have on there the link to the Riverside, to where it will take you to every one of the platforms that I'm on. So if you want to find me there, or if you just want to email me at strengthaftersorrow@gmail.com, I will get back to you there as well. I love to hear your story and maybe help you to find that purpose that you have. we'll see you on this next episode.